Hello, everybody, and welcome to Human Physiology. This is Mr. Sage. I am not putting video in and of myself because I have an unstable internet connection, so hopefully that's not going to be an issue. I'm going to go ahead and get started with sharing a screen here. And you should be able to see this now. Okay, so this is going to be the starting page for your first week, and this is where you will want to go each week of the class. So I'm going to go through each of these things, and we're going to jump over to the syllabus. I'm going to go through that. And then starting next week, you guys will just be watching my recorded videos to help you understand some of the information in the PowerPoint. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. When you open up the Start Here page, you'll see the office hours link here. So I'm going to be having office hours from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Thursdays, or by appointment. Generally, if nobody shows up by about 9:15 or 9:30, I go ahead and close the office hours. So if you are interested in coming to office hours, please do so around 9 a.m. In the first 10 to 15 minutes. And that way I'll know that you're coming. If you are planning on coming later on, 9:30, 9:45, etc., please let me know so I will stay in those office hours and be there when you show up. Okay, looking down below this area that you see week at a glance, this is the most important part of the module. It tells you what you're going to be doing and what is due for that week. Now, if you see a due date or something pop up somewhere else, I need you to do you and me a big favor and completely ignore that. So on the main page of the class, if you see something that's due and it's not listed here, week at a glance, you see I'm highlighting this? This is the only thing you need to worry about for the week. So you don't need to send me an email saying, Mr. Sage, it says that so-and-so is due this week, but it's not listed on the Start Here page under week at a glance. Do I still need to do it? The answer is no. So you can save yourself the trouble of writing me that email by checking this first. If it's not listed on the week at a glance for this week, you don't need to do it. It's not due. So that's the end of the story there. So please check that. This is the most important part of it. So it tells you what to do. The links for all of these are down below. Now, many of these weeks, most of them, I break them down by day, but you can do them at whatever pace you want. So notice here, we have printing out chapter 2 and chapter 24. These are the first two chapters that we'll do. So what you do if you click here is you get a little preview. I'm hoping that you guys can see this. I'm seeing it here. What it does is it shows you these lecture notes. So I'm hoping that you see what I see. Now, when you look at these lecture notes, you can see that the lecture notes are based on the PowerPoint. They are. And there are blanks here and there along the way. So what you're going to want to do when you print these out is fill in the words that are missing from the PowerPoint. And you'll go through all of this all the way to the end as you work your way through the PowerPoint. Now, I will also be having videos showing me going through the PowerPoints to help you understand some of these concepts. So you don't have to do it just from the PowerPoint. You can also do it from the videos that I'll be posting. Now, if you go all the way to the end, you notice there are review questions here. And again, I really hope that you can see this. Sometimes Zoom doesn't record every single image. So I'm really hoping you can see this, and I'll be checking this later. Okay, notice that there are review questions. Now, what I want to tell you about these review questions, which makes it awesome, is that these are the same questions that you'll see on the test. The only difference is here, there are no multiple choice options available, and there will be on the test. So if you know these review questions, you should do really well on the test. There is no separate study guide for the test because this is the study guide. These review questions are the study guide for the test. And you can see there are lots of them per chapter. And if you want to know which of these review questions are going to be on the test, my answer is yes. I'm not going to tell you which ones are on there, so you need to have the answers to all of these ready to go by the day of the test. Now, let's continue on. So you see that for this first week, and I'm going to be going through this later, there are two chapters, chapter 2 and chapter 24. Notice also that the PowerPoints are here. So if you don't want to use the videos that I have, and here's the recording of the lecture, this may change slightly. I'm going to try to embed some YouTube videos in here of myself, and I'm still working on the technical side of that. But if you want to watch it, it's here. And this is me lecturing on these chapters. Now, if you go down here to lab, the labs, primarily we'll be doing labs based on Labster. And if you don't have any experience with Labster, that platform, there's a Labster help page, and then you're going to need to take this how to use Labster quiz. So what I'm going to ask you to do for this first week is to learn how Labster works, take the how to use Labster quiz. It's not worth very many points, but it lets me know that you have figured out how to use Labster. Now, this is another really important thing, is you cannot use Labster on your cell phone. I know many people would say it would be really nice to be able to run this whole class off my phone. Yeah, it would, but this class requires that you have an actual computer. So an Apple computer, a PC, something that can run a 3D animation. So if you're trying to do this on a very old computer or on a fairly weak tablet or on your phone, it's not going to work. You're going to have to get to an actual computer. So you're going to have to start up these Labster simulations. Another thing that you guys really need to know, and please write this down somewhere, is that I can't troubleshoot technical issues with Labster. For example, say Mr. Sage, Labster won't run or whatever. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to contact their customer service number, call them and have them walk you through it. If you send me an email saying I can't get Labster to work, all I'm going to do is send you an email back that says contact customer service. I don't have that number handy right now, but you guys can look it up, find it out. Now, if you have questions about why something is happening biologically in one of the simulations, I can help you with that. If you don't understand something that was happening in the activity in terms of the biology of it, I can help. But if it's technical stuff, you couldn't move a test tube, it won't start, it's glitching on your computer, I can't help with that. So please don't send me emails saying that you're having trouble with getting the Labster to work, because I'm going to send you the email back that says you need to contact customer service. So please write this down, remember it, and we'll both be much happier for that. So in this first week, I'm going to ask you to do these 2 Labsters. Now, when you click on these links, it takes you directly to Labster, and you need to wait until it loads. It takes a while to load. So you will need an actual computer. And then the discussion board. I'm going to go ahead and open up this discussion board. Now, one of the things that's really important to do if you are new to online classes, the discussion boards are something we're going to be doing regularly. And what it does is it allows us to interact with each other, give back and forth comments on each other's ideas. And so if you've done this before, you're probably familiar with it. But what's really important that you do is that you check the rubric. Now, if you see this rubric here, what it's going to do is it's going to tell you why you got a particular grade on your discussion board post. Now, notice that between 5 to 7 points is full and complete job of replying with plenty of detail and personal examples. So if you're trying to figure out how little you can write in a discussion board and still get full credit, you probably won't. So what I'm looking for is lots of detail, lots of personal examples, lots of writing, because I don't have a class project for this. I don't have a term paper. So part of where I'm going to be seeing can you write is on the discussion board. So I want lots of detail, give lots of examples. And then you can see these are the different levels that you'll get depending on how much you do. Now, response to other posts, you have to get at least 2 other students reply to 2 other students' posts. So what that means is if you're one of the first people to come in and post, you're going to have to come back later in the week and look at other people's postings and make comments on it. The more comments you make, the more likely you are to get to full credit. Now, please notice that even if you did 2 replies, if all you did was say, yeah, I agree, that sounds good, awesome, you're not going to get full credit. What I'm looking for is for you to follow up with more questions, more personal examples, something that shows that you're actually taking your time with that. Notice if you only reply to 1 student post, you only get 1 point, 2 points for two student posts, but low detail, and then 3 points is if you get plenty of detail in your replies. So you want to check that under here, check the rubric for each of these to make sure that you know what you're doing. And I put some of the key things you need to read at the top based on just what I said. And if you're having trouble with Canvas, there's a video tutorial and rich text editor video tutorial there. But what this first discussion board is actually asking you to do is think about what is good practice for taking a science or a biology class. And what it's getting you to do is to think about not procrastinating. The biggest problem that I notice with my students is that they procrastinate. And that is, I know it's unpleasant to do the work in the class. So what they do is they say, well, I'm really busy during the week. I'm at work. I got kids, spouse. I'm going to wait until the weekend to do it. Now, that's certainly your choice to do that, but I don't recommend it. What I'm asking everybody to do is to be completely done with all the material for this course by Saturday night. Now, what that does is it allows you to relax on Sunday, which is what we're all supposed to be doing, and it causes you not to panic. What I've seen in the many, many years that I've been teaching is that students that wait until Sunday, they have a problem, a technical problem, a personal problem, and then they ask for an extension. The answer to that is going to be no. There are no extensions for the work. So what's really important that you do is you get started early in the week and you finish before Saturday night. And then you only use Sunday as if there has been an emergency earlier in the week and you couldn't complete it. And that way you don't have to email me asking for an extension because the answer will be no. Now, that sounds pretty harsh, but what I will tell you is to drop your lowest score for lab, lowest discussion post, and lowest test. That excludes the final, which is not dropped. So what that does is it requires that you, so look down here, it says there are no extensions. Don't wait until the last minute. So I'm asking you to not wait until the weekend to start your work because there's so much that to do, you won't have time to complete it. Okay, so make sure you get all that work done before Saturday night and only use Sunday if you have an emergency. So when you email me requesting an extension, the answer would be no. So please try to get that done earlier. Okay, so we've gone through the discussion board, we've gone through the PowerPoints, through the lecture notes, and then the recordings of lecture will either come up on YouTube or on Zoom, one way or the other. So this is what a typical Start Here module looks like. The grades are over here. I'm not going to click on this because it'll have people's personal information. But if you do see something in the grades that doesn't seem to match what you expected, please let me know and we can discuss it in office hours or through email. The next thing I'm going to do is go to the syllabus. Okay, much of this is boilerplate stuff that has to be put in, the mission statement, the equity statement. Okay, but here's some key things. My name, my email. Now, very important, please make a note of this, write this down. I do not want you to send me email to that email address. I know that sounds counterintuitive. I need you to send me email only to the Canvas email. So you're going to be sending your emails through Canvas and receiving your replies back from me. Now, if you want to know why, it's because often students send me a question. And when I reply to them, I want to reply to the whole class so everybody knows what the answer to the question that you were asking. And if you send it from your own personal email, like Google or Yahoo or whatever, then I can't do that. So if you send me an email to this email address, bsage@barstow.edu, I will reply back with use Canvas email only. So it says right there, use Canvas email only while in the class as a student. Now, if you want to email me after the class is over, let's say this summer or next fall, feel free to do that. But if you're in the class and you're thinking, well, it's just really kind of a hassle and I like using my own personal email, well, I'm not going to reply. So please use the Canvas email only to reply, to ask questions and get my replies. And you need to check that pretty often. Please make sure to check your Canvas email several times a week. If I were a student, I'd check it once a day or twice a day, whatever works for you. Okay, so I don't have a phone number that you can call me. The office hours I have shown you, they're going to be Thursday mornings. So please jump in there if you can. The catalog description, student learning outcomes, course objectives, course content are all things you need to know. Class meetings are online only. There's no on-campus component. The textbook required is here. I don't know if it's going to allow me to jump over to that, but when you click on that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, let me just see if this works. I don't know if this will work on a separate page. Anyway, if you can see this, this is the anatomy and physiology textbook. It's hard to know for sure, but I always click on view online and then it gives you all the chapters, and this is the text that we're going to be using. Okay, I don't know if you were able to see that because sometimes Zoom will jump over to it, and sometimes it won't. So if you didn't see that, anyway, you click on the OER text, it'll take you over there and it may help you with the class. Please note that some of my notes are based on that text and some are based on other texts, but I chose this one because it was free and available online. Much of my notes are based on a variety of other textbooks, but here's the key thing that you should know. As long as you have the PowerPoint and the notes and the lecture notes and the review questions, you should be good to go for the test. The grading procedure is here. This is the official thing, but remember I said I drop your lowest score for each item. Now, sometimes the lowest grade doesn't drop, and that's because you've got good grades in all of those and they're actually helping you. So if you have any questions about dropping scores, please let me know, but your lowest score obviously won't drop until after the second thing is submitted, because it drops the lowest of all of the ones that are listed. And which one drops may vary throughout the semester based on which one Canvas believes is your lowest, and it will not drop any if those scores all are supporting your grade and helping your grade. So just because it says it drops your lowest doesn't necessarily mean that's going to help your overall grade. If you have any questions about that, let me know, but generally the lowest one drops. If you think that there's a problem with that, let me know, but I've never seen Canvas make a mistake with this. Okay, a personal computer disclaimer. I remember I told you in order to get to labs, you have to use an actual full-scale computer. Academic honesty. This is really important to me. Do not copy material off the internet and put it in to your work, either in discussion or in the essay questions on my test. Part of the exams will be essay questions, where I'm going to ask you to explain a figure or a concept that I've discussed during lecture. If you copy off the internet, and I catch it, and I often do, you'll get a 0 for the whole test, not just for that score for that essay. You'll get a 0 for the whole test. Do not do that. Take your notes based on my lecture. Don't go out on the internet and try to find something and then put that in as your essay or your discussion, because it will cost you points, and that's not what you want. So please don't copy off the web. You know, it's tempting. A lot of students do it. I catch them. They get bummed out. They feel bad. I feel bad. Don't do it. And then you'll be good to go. Sexual harassment, disability, it's all in there. Please note that the course summary is going to change as I modify the course during the course of the semester. It may not be completely in the can when we start the class. Okay, so that pretty much gets it. As I said, the tests are going to be based on the review questions. The essays will be pointed out during lecture. I'll make a big deal about which ones are likely to be essays. And I can't think of what else I want to talk to you about other than what I've already said. So I hope this worked. I hope you got some good information out of this. If you have any more questions, please send me an email or come to that first office hours on Thursday morning. Otherwise, I'll look forward to seeing you on the discussion board. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.